Hey, everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we are exploring this fascinating YouTube channel called Hypnovibes.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. And we're going to be looking specifically at a session that features this technique called hypnochanneling,
Hypnochanneling.
and it's led by this hypnotherapist named Naomi.
Okay.
So in this session, she's working with a client named Reese. And what's so interesting about hypnochanneling is that it's not about Naomi hypnotizing Reese and, delving into Reese's subconscious or something. It's actually about channeling universal wisdom through Naomi.
Oh, wow. So the messages aren't even coming from Reese. It's coming from like somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like she's tuning into a cosmic radio station or something.
Interesting.
Right. And the messages are coming through her to help people like Reese understand their lives on this deeper level.
I like that. A cosmic radio station. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, use it.
I like it.
So one of the most fascinating things about this particular session is that they encounter this really powerful energy that calls itself a destroyer.
Destroyer. That sounds kind of scary.
I know, right? When you first hear destroyer, it does sound pretty intense. It sounds pretty negative. Like, who wants to encounter a destroyer?
Yeah.
But here's where things get interesting.
Okay, listen.
The idea here isn't about some external force, like some, evil entity that wants to harm us or something. It's about an energy that we might create within ourselves to maybe help us confront our fears or limitations.
So it's more like an internal challenge.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big part of the work that Naomi does in terms of raising consciousness is how do we approach these parts of ourselves that we might be afraid of or that we might want to, push away.
Yeah, makes sense.
So Reese's session really illustrates this beautifully.
Okay, how so?
Well, her higher self, which is the voice that Naomi is channeling, explains that this destroyer energy is there to help Reese move beyond black and white thinking.
That's interesting. So what does that actually look like, moving beyond black and white thinking?
Well, I think it's something we all struggle with, right? It's like we tend to see things as either good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure.
Right, or we put people into boxes. You're either with us or against us.
Exactly. But the higher self is encouraging Reese to find that gray space.
That in-between area.
Yeah, where things aren't so absolute.
So it's more about embracing the nuances and the complexities of life.
Yeah, exactly. And the amazing thing is that this shift in thinking can actually transform fear into appreciation and love.
Really?
Yeah. Reese's higher self explains that nothing really disappears. It just transforms.
So even this destroyer energy can be transformed.
Right. It's like taking something that seems negative and turning it into something positive. But it goes even deeper than that. This idea of transformation links directly to the cycle of creation and death. And get this, the destroyer energy actually has a name.
Oh, it has a name. What is it?
It's syllabus.
So syllabus. Like syllabus.
Exactly. Are we talking about a cosmic lesson plan here?
I love.
Right. And the syllabus isn't just a to-do list. It's a guide to understanding this cycle of creation and death.
Okay. I'm intrigued. How does all of this work?
Well, to illustrate this, Reese's higher self uses the metaphor of an orange and its roots.
Okay, an orange and roots. I'm not sure I'm following this.
Okay, so think about the juicy, vibrant orange as representing life and creation.
Okay, got it.
But when the orange is gone, what's left?
The peel, the seeds, and the roots.
Yeah. And the roots have the potential to sprout new life even after the fruit itself is gone.
So even in death, there's a seed for new beginnings.
Exactly. Nothing is truly lost. Everything is part of this larger cycle. And this applies to energy as well. Just like a plant can be used to help others grow, this transformed destroyer energy can help others learn and evolve in their own unique ways.
So we're all connected in this intricate web of energy, constantly transforming and influencing each other.
That's one of the mind-blowing takeaways from this session. But there's so much more to unpack. You won't believe what Reese's higher self reveals about her energy.
Ooh, we've got to hear this. But first, a word from our sponsors.
And we're back. So Reese Wright, she's got this energy that's like the sun.
Yeah, radiant warm, bringing joy to those around her. But like you were saying before the break, the sun can also be pretty intense, right?
Oh, for sure. And that intensity is definitely a part of Reese's energy too. But there's another celestial body at play here too.
Yeah.
Reese's brother's energy is described as being like the moon.
Oh, the sun and the moon. Okay, I'm seeing where you're going with this. They complement each other, but they also have this totally different energy. It's making me think about those relationships we have in our own lives.
Yeah.
The ones that are both challenging and enriching.
You're so right. It's like this push and pull between the sun and the moon. Sometimes they're in harmony and sometimes they're in conflict.
And this is where the idea of raising consciousness comes in, right?
Totally. Because instead of just getting stuck in that conflict, we can ask ourselves, what are these relationships trying to teach us?
Yeah. What can we learn from them? Exactly. Reese's higher self suggests that these difficult relationships are like mirrors. They reflect back parts of ourselves that we might not like.
So instead of blaming the other person, we can look inward and ask, what is this relationship showing me about myself?
Now you're getting it. And Reese's higher self takes it a step further, asking this really profound question: what is the purpose of that person causing you pain?
Whoa, that's heavy. It's like flipping the script right. Instead of seeing pain as something to avoid, it becomes this opportunity for growth and understanding.
That's the whole point. Challenges aren't meant to punish us. They're chances to learn and evolve.
Okay, so how do we actually navigate these challenging relationships? Because they can be really, really tough.
Well, Reese's higher self gives us some practical advice. The first step is to just allow yourself to feel the pain. Acknowledge it without judgment.
So we're not trying to push it away or pretend it's not there.
Nope. We have to acknowledge it to move through it. Then we can ask our hearts for guidance.
Our hearts, not our heads.
Right. Our hearts are where our intuition and wisdom come from, not our heads with all their anxieties and doubts.
I love that. It's about tuning into that deeper knowing within ourselves.
Exactly. Trusting that inner voice. And that trust is super important when we hear what Reese's higher self reveals about her past lives.
Wait, so rest? Are we talking about reincarnation?
We are, and it's mind-blowing. She's had tons of past lives, over 50 on Earth alone. And get this, she's had experiences in other universes and galaxies too.
Hold on. Other universes, like parallel dimensions and stuff.
It seems like our existence is way more vast and interconnected than we could ever imagine.
Okay, so if Reese has had all these past lives, does that mean she might be connected to other people in this life who were also present in those past lives?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And the session actually mentions another client named Olivia who also has that same sun energy as Reese. It makes you wonder if there's some past life connection there.
Right, it makes you think about all the people we've met in our lives and why our paths have crossed.
Maybe there are hidden connections and patterns we're not even aware of. But there's something else really interesting that comes up. Reese starts experiencing physical pain in her heart center, and it seems to be linked to the energetic adjustments happening in the session.
So it's not just emotional and mental shifts, but physical ones too.
Exactly. Our physical bodies are connected to our energetic and spiritual states in ways we're just beginning to understand.
That's pretty wild to think about. Our physical bodies actually reflecting these deeper changes happening on an energetic level.
Yeah, and it happens a lot in Naomi's sessions. It really shows how connected we are. Like, our bodies aren't separate from our minds and spirits. It's all one system. But you know what else is interesting in this session?
What's that?
Well, remember we were talking about how we're never really alone, even when things are tough? Reese actually receives messages from loved ones who've passed away, specifically her mom and dad.
Oh, wow. So even in this hypnotic state, she's still connected to the people who've shaped her life, even if they're not physically here anymore. What did they say?
Her father tells her how proud he is of her and how much he loves her. He says he's watching over her from the spirit realm. It's like he's reminding her that their love is still there, even if she can't see him.
That must have been so comforting for her, especially during a session where she's dealing with all these personal challenges.
Absolutely. And her mother also sends a message of encouragement. She tells Reese to keep going, to be brave and true to herself. It's like a little push from beyond, reminding her of her strength.
It's amazing to think about that kind of connection going beyond the physical world. So after all these insights and messages, what's the final message from Reese's higher self? What does she leave Reese with?
The higher self tells her to keep going, but to do it with a sense of peace in her mind, a sense of ease, to learn to trust fully and relax, and to go with the flow.
It's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that even when things are uncertain and challenging, we can still find peace and trust in the journey.
Exactly. It shows just how powerful hypnochanneling can be. And it highlights Naomi's whole approach to raising consciousness. It's about accessing that inner wisdom that's always there if we know how to listen.
This whole session has been incredible. It makes you think about how much more there is to life than what we see on the surface. The destroyer energy, the cycle of creation and death, those messages from loved ones. It's been quite a journey.
I know, right? It's all about connection. We're connected to our own inner wisdom, to the energies around us, to the people we love, even after they're gone.
Lots to think about for sure. And if anyone wants to explore these ideas further, we highly recommend Naomi Shu's The Next Level You book series. It's on Amazon, and it's a great resource for anyone wanting to learn more about raising their consciousness and connecting to their higher self.
And remember, this deep dive was made just for you. We hope it's opened your eyes to the power of hypnochanneling and the potential we all have within us.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
Almost here. And 3. Hi, is this Reese's higher self?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you for this communication. So I like to find out, or just to really understand this energy, that when I was doing the hypnosis session with Reese, the energy that he called himself as a destroyer or stopper, he came out and he went to nothingness. So what kind of energy is this?
What do you mean by what kind of energy is this?
So it's, let's say it's a type of fear or something else, because I never heard destroyer.
No, it's not a type of fear. It's a type of energy that was created for her to learn what the opposite is.
Created by you?
Yes.
So
in agreement.
I see. So this is before?
Yes.
So one more time, what's the purpose?
Is to learn what the opposite of that energy is, the duality of it, and what to do to balance it. Instead of black and white, you come to a gray point. And what is that gray space of balance? Where you stop defining things as black and white, but more like you see the point and you see the existence of it, where it starts to merge with your own presence and you create a bigger presence where you start to expand your own consciousness, expanding your own presence in your soul.
So how did she do? She learned?
If it's gone, then she learned.
Right. Because that day is the day that she can finish this learning and learn something new?
It was a day that all the energy just aligned and she needed a tool to help her.
She needed
dispel it.
She needed what?
A tool.
Oh.
I'm not saying you are an object. I'm just saying everything is orchestrated in a way where it will serve her and serve the purpose that it needs to be served. Nothing is truly ever gone, but it can transform itself. Also, your relationship to the energy and how you work with it and what you have learned from it. For example, if you have learned to overcome your fear, that fear now becomes a sense of appreciation, a sense of love, a level up in understanding of something. But if it's still there, then it's still fear. Until you learned how to mentally transform it.
So that energy will not be gone until we learn it.
Yes. Nothing disappears. It just changes. Everything is in motion.
So I'm curious that nothingness is what? A black hole?
Nothingness is everything. It's where nothing exists, and it's where also everything exists, because we come to a middle point.
What does your name syllabus?
In human words, or
He identified himself as a syllabus.
it's almost as it's a representation of a lesson. When you go to a class, they hand out a syllabus. Here are the things that you will learn. Here's a list of everything that you will overcome in this class.
That makes sense. So you want to go ahead?
When Naomi asked where you were from, you said the thorns and roots that come from under the earth. Can you explain more what that means or represents?
It's a metaphor for the cycle of creation and death. When a plant grows, you can create another plant by using a part of it. So when a plant dies, it doesn't totally die. There are seeds or there are parts of the plants that can be replanted and it becomes yet again another plant.
So let's say this energy can serve someone else.
It won't be the same energy. It has to come from themselves.
So
You are the plant. You are the flower in this relationship. And that is the thorn, or what you felt like it was a thorn.
So
Everything is in a cycle. It's all connected. We all come back to ourselves.
So this energy that can be created by someone else, another energy, for them to learn something from it.
Yes, but it might not manifest in the same way or for the same amount of time or give it the same feeling.
Right. I see.
It's whatever that individualized soul needs to learn or wants to learn.
Right.
Yes.
So let's say, right, is this right that you can create it, some sort of plan before, let's say, this person, let's say Reese, before Reese came to Earth, and but you also can create a lot of events or challenges when she's here.
All the events and challenges are always orchestrated, especially the larger ones, yes. And they're not you can see it as an event or a challenge. It's more of a gift for you to learn and to level up. How can you level up if there are no challenges? Imagine how boring that life would be.
Right. So, but how come some people, like my sister, she's not experiencing challenges?
It's just different individualized souls want to experience different things in different ways. That's the beauty of it. We're all so different.
So it's up to the soul.
But also, how do you know she's not experiencing challenges?
I don't know. I'm waiting for you to say that because it looks like that way.
Yes, you cannot judge and say that person's having a great time because they have all the money in the world.
Right.
How do you know that they're not experiencing challenges?
Right. So it's almost impossible. Does any soul come here and just relax?
This is Earth.
Right.
Challenge is the name of the game.
Why did you come to me when I was 8 years old?
You were ready at 8 for more, to experience what you needed to experience and to start the process of going back to yourself.
And I like to know if you can explain more. She wants to, right, the sun, and she's sitting on top of the sun.
She has the energy of the sun.
Right. And so when she's there, she's always there, she smiles. So that smile can give, let's say, Reese energy and anyone else.
She just radiates it. She doesn't need to smile.
So that smile is like a metaphor.
Because when you smile, it's authentic happiness. That just spreads faster.
So that Reese's energy, you can say, is in a parallel reality, but she's always there.
Yes, you can say that. You can say it that way.
And so what is the purpose for Reese to experience this life?
She saw a big challenge and wanted to challenge it. And she was excited for it.
The challenging relationship. So if you can tell her a little bit more about the relationship between her and her brother.
If she has the energy of the sun, he has the energy of the moon. It's a metaphor. People in our lives usually reflect to us in some ways a different side of us, a different version of us that is so different that it creates tension. But then again, of the concept of going back to yourself, how do you learn to work with it?
We need someone to reflect us.
Yes.
Or show us the part, let's say, we don't like. Right?
We can say it like that, yes. People in your lives are usually a reflection of you. Not in the way that they're telling you exactly who you are, but how to be.
I'm really learning that, because otherwise, how can we learn?
Yes, but there's always something in that person's behavior that is highlighting or giving you attention to something in yourself.
What is the purpose of that person causing you pain?
It's not that people cause you pain. It's not that people are coming into your life to cause you pain. It's more like they're playing a role in the story, in the grand scheme of things. And they play a role so you can learn a certain theme or go through a certain theme and learn a certain lesson.
And if by going through that, right, that challenge, and we can feel that that person is giving us pain, but that's how we look at it.
That's how most humans look at it. It's not condemning, just explaining the difference between what we see in the spirit side.
But if you
changing your perspective, going to higher perspective, yes, there is pain involved. But what's the bigger lesson here?
What are some of the things that I can do to make the lessons more clear?
Allow yourself to feel and honor those feelings of pain that you feel. And then you ask yourself, what are the next steps that I really want to take that are in alignment with who I really am? And that answer comes from your heart space. It's not from your mind.
Can you say it one more time?
And then you ask yourself, what are the next steps that I want to take that are in my highest alignment? And you just feel into that answer. You don't think about it, you feel into it. Certain steps will feel more right, feel better.
Yes, it's what you said, I definitely understand, but it's hard to do.
That's why it's a challenge.
Is this still the destroyer speaking, or
No, this is always your higher self. Yes.
Can you tell me how many times I've been here?
In the totality of everything, because time is an illusion, it's in the 50s. But again, that number can change according to different contracts or if you decide to come back again. It's either 53 or 57.
But this is only on Earth.
Yes, Earth. You have had more experiences in the other vast universes and galaxies.
So there's another person, one of my clients, and her name is Olivia, and she also carries the sun's energy. So that's possible.
We're all related. There's no one singular entity that carries. You get it.
Anything else? I will ask this before I forget. So that destroyer energy came out because he knows.
He needs to come out, and he is called the destroyer because he will bring something in return.
And so when Reese feels this pain in her heart, that's because of that energy?
It's because she's adjusting the energies in her heart center,
Oh.
which results in physical pain.
She's adjusting.
Or the energies are being adjusted, which affects her physical body.
I see. Everything makes sense. So anything that she will be doing from this point?
Shining.
So what is the reason that when she's coming to this place today and the GPS will direct her to a different location?
The person prior just needed some privacy.
Ah,
Yes.
but the other day, Kim also had this problem.
You needed to look at, I'm trying to retrieve her memory about, to get the lady's name.
Kim, she comes here.
There needed to be some time for you and Jessica to get yourself acquainted with Karina.
Ah, wow.
If Kim came, there could have been just a brief introduction and then going straight into the session.
So she needs to give us some time for us to know each other?
Yes.
Oh, it's everything happens at the perfect timing. So the universe arranged that.
If I am accessing her memories correctly, Roxy has cried, no?
Yes.
She needed some privacy for what was going on.
I see. We have to believe. Yeah, we just don't trust all the time. We think there is something wrong with the Google map.
On a deeper soul level, he loves you regardless, even though things have been tense. There are some regrets, but he's thankful regardless.
Can you tell me what my father would like for me to know?
He's still here in spirit watching over you, and he's very proud.
Can you tell me what my mother would like for me to know?
Her message is, keep going on, be brave, be you.
Can you tell me what my higher self
Would be me.
what would you like for me to
Keep going, but with a sense of peace in mind, the sense of ease, learning to fully trust and fully relax and to go with the flow.
Very good. And we appreciate this communication. And I'm sure if in the future, if Reese needs to communicate with you again, we can do this again.
Always.
Great. So